We'll stay low to the ground. In fact, we'll start in Shavasana and we'll end in Shavasana. Okay, let's meet on the mat in Shavasana. Gently making our way down. Finding a comfortable position for the hands. Closing our eyes. And we'll take a few deep breaths in through the nose and we'll sigh out through the mouth. Noticing the muscles in our faces and our shoulders soften. Noticing the contact our body makes on the mat below. Breathing in and out through the nose, we'll run through a body scan from head to toe, noticing the contact our body makes, noticing the mood and the energy of the body, any areas of tightness or lightness. Celebrating having come to the mat today to reset our bodies and minds, to set us up for a new year ahead, and to bring ourselves back to this present moment, the most important moment that there is, allowing us to reconnect, with emotions, sensations, feelings, so that we don't get stuck on them, giving ourselves the time we need to connect to them, to let them go, so that we can move on, not letting them hijack the rest of the moments of our days. Maintaining our awareness on the physical sensations and our breath. Noticing the speed and the depth of our breath, and perhaps the bottom and the top, and those short little pauses. Repeating a mantra in our head. I am peace. I am tranquil, I am at ease, or any word that might come to mind, even if it feels difficult to say right now. We start with a gentle centering mantra. Bringing our awareness back to the physical sensations and the space around us. We'll draw our left knee into our chest, giving it a hug, bringing our hands on top of the shin, feeling our shoulder blades in the back of our head connect to the mat. Perhaps allowing the knee to open a little bit into the left armpit, while allowing the right arm to float outwards. Maintaining contact of our shoulder blades on the mat below. And allowing our left leg to float back along the mat. We'll hug our right knee in. Bringing our hands to the shin. Checking in with the hip flexor. And then allowing the right knee to float open towards the right armpit and the left arm to float outwards from the shoulder. Maintaining contact of our shoulder blades, softness in our face, allowing the right leg to float long on the mat. We'll bring the left knee in again and we'll circle it without touching the knee. We'll hug it into the chest, we'll open it to the left, and we'll slowly circle, straightening the leg back out. We'll do this a few more times on the left side. Hugging the left knee towards the chest, opening it towards the arm, and then floating it long on the mat. Continuing this motion to our speed, our range of motion, perhaps starting to notice the leg open a little bit more each time, or to become a little bit more fluid in its motion. Working into the hip flexor and the hip joint, bringing awareness there and a bit more fluidity. Last one right here. We'll reset and we'll repeat with the right leg, drawing the right knee towards the chest, slowly opening it, circling it out to the right, and then floating the leg long. Two more. And our reset will be an Vipassana hug, so drawing both knees into the chest, one at a time, hands on the shins. Option to keep the knees wide to rock side to side. And then we'll bring the knees together, bringing the hands on top of the shins, hugging ourselves in, curling up like little balls, chins to chest, drawing our shoulders and head off the mat. Noticing all the yummy sensations that we're creating in our hip flexors and lower back. Wiggling the feet, rolling, pointing, flexing. Starting to notice and bring awareness to the calf muscles, the fronts of the feet, the toes and the ankles. Bringing our shoulders and head back to the earth, opening our arms wide. And we'll slowly lower the knees to the left and to the right, side to side. Slowly, gently twisting left to right to our range of motion. We may not touch the ground, that's fine, but we will get a nice massage on the lower back and the top of the glutes. Noticing how the abdomen engages, controlling our range of motion. One more shift left to right. And then the next time we get over to the left side, we'll hold, allowing the knees to fall towards the earth, trying to keep our right shoulder blade on the mat. calm and steady rhythm of breath, noticing the sensations along the right side of the body, into the lower back, down through the hip, alongside the leg and into the knee. Maintaining a gentle expression on our face. And noticing any patterns of energy that may be running from the right hip or even the left up to the right shoulder. Option to turn our gaze to the right, bringing the right ear towards the mat. Noticing micro changes in the body when it starts to release energy, to release that gripping hold. Bringing the head back to center, slowly bringing the feet back to the mat and stacking the knees over top. Rinsing that out with windshield wipers in between left to right with our feet planted on the mat. And inhaling the knees back to center, we hug them back into the chest, curling ourselves up like little balls. One more time. And resetting so that we can lower our knees over to the right side. Bringing our shoulders and head back to the earth, opening our arms wide, lowering our knees to the right. The feet come back down to the mat, stacking the hips and the knees on top of one another. Gentle twist here. Bringing our awareness to the physical sensations down the left side of the body. Breathing into our hearts. And with the option to turn our gaze to the left, we can bring our left ear towards the mat. Once again, noticing any energy patterns that may be running from the shoulder on the left side, down through the back, into the hips. Breathing awareness to any areas of discomfort or stickiness. Noticing micro shifts as the body starts to relax, to ease into the pose. Bringing our heads back to center, stacking our knees, bringing our feet to the earth, and we hug ourselves in like tight little balls. We'll flow through our opening and closing here from tight little balls to butterfly legs and cactus arms. So inhaling, we open our hearts. We bring our arms into cactus and our legs into butterfly. Exhale, we curl into tight little balls, bringing our head and shoulders off the mat. Inhaling, opening, cactus, butterfly. Exhale, curling back into the rhythm of our breath, the speed that suits us in this moment. Noticing pauses at the top and bottom of our breath, where everything just stands still. I am at peace. I am at ease. I am calm. I am tranquil. We'll do 3 more. Noticing new fluidity, changing sensations. And opening and lightness in our chest. Last one here. We will open one more time, cactus arms, butterfly legs, holding here for a few breaths. Breathing light into our heart center and into our faces. And curling ourselves back and hugging the knees in, lifting the chest and the head. From here, we'll roll over to the left and we'll sit ourselves up into an easy seated pose, perhaps grabbing a sip of water on the way. And when we get here, we'll bring our right foot in front of the left so the ankles are in alignment as best as possible. Bringing our hands to our knees, stacking our shoulders over our hips. And we'll slowly start to roll right to left or left to right. We'll do both sides. Slowly starting to add some lateral flexion, noticing what's happening in the left and the right side, the lower back. Finding a speed and range of motion that feel comfortable. Finishing this rotation, and we'll switch sides wherever it feels most convenient. Circling around the other way. Keeping our awareness on the breath and the physical sensations. Anchoring ourselves into this present moment. Last time around. And we'll stack our shoulders back over our hips, rolling them up and back. And we'll lift our left arm over our shoulder. We'll walk our right hand out. We'll slowly come into a side bend here, bending at the elbow, reaching the left arm long, keeping our sit bone firmly planted to the mat, actively pressing the left knee down, not letting it float up. We lower ourselves as possible, using our elbow and forearm as support if we get that close to the ground. Maintaining a calm, steady rhythm of breath and gentle expressions on our face. Continuing to press upwards so we're not collapsing into the pose. With the next inhale, we sweep our left arm up. We press ourselves up with our right hand. We bring our left hand to the earth, the right arm over our shoulder. We reach big. Inhaling. And then we exhale, walking the left hand outwards, coming into a side bend, other side. Supporting with our left hand, forearm or elbow. Creating length and space down the right side of the body. Keeping our right sit bone firmly connected to the mat, actively pressing our knee down. Calm, steady rhythm of breath. For 3, for 2, last one. And we press ourselves up, inhaling, bringing both hands to the earth. Next inhale, we lift both hands up over our shoulders, finding that length and then hinging forward, maintaining a flat back, bringing our hands to the earth, feeling some sensations in the back of the hips. Drawing our chest through as possible. And slowly bringing ourselves a little closer to the earth. Maintaining our flat back, sinking into the hips. Calm, steady rhythm of breath. Beautiful. Inhale, pressing ourselves up with our hands, stacking the vertebrae, walking the hands in, rolling the shoulders up and back, bringing our hands behind us, and we'll extend our legs out, giving them a little wiggle, releasing the energy from the knees. Wiggling out the feet, pointing, flexing, whatever feels yummy, doing that in between. And then we'll bring the left foot in front of the right, stacking the ankles, one in front of the other. Bring our hands back to our knees, and once again, we'll find a fluid, floaty, circular motion, doing both directions, so it doesn't matter which one we start with. Perhaps we're starting to press against the knees, adding a little bit of intensity to the lower back. Gently shifting the sensations. One more in this direction. And we shift directions. Noticing the breath, how we're flowing with it. One more circle. And we'll all come back to center. Bringing our right arm over our shoulder. Our left hand comes out and we walk over into our side bend. Gentle, reaching long, creating space down the right side of the body and supporting with our left arm. Exploring, we can shift our head left to right. And as needed, we can bring our right hand to our head or release it entirely. 3 more breaths here. On the next inhale, we'll press ourselves up, sweeping the right arm over to the side, lifting our left arm on the next inhale over the shoulder, and walking our right hand out, coming into our side bend, opposite side. Calm and steady, supporting as we go, maintaining our calm, steady rhythm of breath. Noticing a gentle opening, and perhaps we're exploring by shifting our head left to right. Three more breaths. And on the next inhale, we press ourselves back up, sweeping our left hand down, rolling the shoulders up and back. Inhale, reaching the arms over our shoulders. Exhale, we forward fold, bringing our hands to the earth, flat back, finding that length. Melting towards the earth, supporting with our hands, our blocks, or our forearms. If we're feeling super bendy today, we can bring our forehead to our fists or our hands, honoring the state of our body. Maintaining our breath calm and steady. Noticing all the yummy sensation in the back of our hips. Perhaps they've started to shift from the beginning of our practice. And on the next inhale, we'll walk our hands back, stacking the vertebrae one at a time. Bringing the hands behind, supporting and then extending the legs out in front, Dandasana, giving them a wiggle. Pointing and flexing, rolling the feet. Oh, whatever feels good here. And we'll set ourselves up for a gentle, passive Dandasana pose. Inhale, reaching. The arms over the shoulders, toes are pointed up to the sky. Exhale, we hinge forward, maintaining a flat back, melting into the back of our legs, bringing our hands to wherever they fall naturally, Keeping our toes pointed to the sky. Gently hinging forward. Feeling how the length starts to open through the back of the body. Three more breaths here. Now we'll stack the vertebrae, drawing the hands back along the thighs. We'll bring our feet in, crossing them over, and we'll float our way into all fours. Bringing our hands under our shoulders, our knees under our hips. Gentle transition. We'll just start with a shift of our weight left to right. Letting our heads hang heavy, following the flow. Next time over to the left, we'll hold here. Looking back towards our left ankle. Continuing to hold a strong pose, pressing the fingers into the mat, pressing into the shoulder blades. Once again, noticing what's happening on the right side of the body. And we release, going over to the left, shifting the hips to the left and our gaze to the right. Pressing away into the shoulder blades, letting the head hang heavy, gazing back towards the feet. And inhaling back to center. Into a classic cat-cow, starting with our tailbones, lowering the back, lifting the chest, pressing the earth away, gazing up. Exhaling, rounding at the tailbone, rounding the spine, looking back towards our feet, heavy head. And repeating, inhaling, arching and gazing up, opening the abdomen. Exhale, rounding and gazing back. Repeating the motion to the rhythm of our breath, to our fluidity. Pressing into the shoulder blades, chin to chest. One more. Now we come back to neutral. We curl our toes under our shins and we walk our hands one hand print out. We lift our hips and we come into our down dog, finding stability, pressing the hands into the mat. Perhaps we walk them out a little wider for stability, or if our shoulders are feeling really tight. And starting here with pedaling the feet, coming up on the toes of one, pressing the other back into the mat. Shifting our weight, opening our hips as feels good. Moving intuitively with our bodies, maintaining our presence in this moment with the contact we've made with our physical sensations and our breath. Coming back to center, pressing both heels back towards the earth, letting our heads hang heavy. We'll lift our left leg off the mat, letting it float up, pressing our weight through the right heel. Option here to bend at the left knee and to open the hips, shifting more of our weight over to the right side. Calm expressions on our face. Then we come back to center. We gaze forward and we come through, bringing our left knee to our left wrist, pigeon pose, sliding our hips back with our right toes. Lifting our hearts, inhaling. And then slowly with each exhalation, we can melt forward. Bringing our torso over our left knee and shin. Inhale, finding the length. Exhale, melting forward. Supporting ourselves along the way with our hands, our forearms, our fists, or our hands. Seeing if we can maintain length in our spine. And a softness in our upper body. Noticing what's happening in the knee. And if this isn't intense enough today, we can thread the needle. Bringing our left arm out in front of us and our right arm underneath. We bring our right ear to the mat. Listening to our bodies, pulling back if we are not at ease. Coming back to our mantra from the beginning. I am at ease. I am at peace. I am tranquil. Coming out of our thread the needle if we were there. And slowly pressing ourselves back up, rolling over onto the left hip. And we'll come back into our all fours slowly. Bringing our hands under the shoulders, knees under the hips, and we can wiggle that out. Rinsing, shifting, whatever feels good. Coming back to stillness, curling the toes under our shins. We can walk our hands a handprint out and lift the hips up into our down dog. Pedaling once again, that'll feel yummy, especially on the back of the left knee. Coming back to center, pressing both heels towards the mat, finding grounding of our hands and length and heaviness of our heads. Allowing our right leg to float off the mat. Pressing our weight through the left heel. And an option here to bend at the right knee and to open the hips, stacking the right knee on top of the hip. Pressing more of our weight over to the left side. Strong upper body. Gentle expressions on our face. Coming back to center, we gaze forward and we slowly walk our hands forward. We bring our right knee to our right wrist, and then we allow our left foot to float back, opening the hips. Inhale, lifting the chest. And with our exhalations, we can slowly walk the hands out, melting over the right leg. Listening to the body, checking in with those sensations of stickiness, heaviness or darkness. Keeping our awareness there and noticing how they transform. Not collapsing into any of our poses, but finding that ease. And if this isn't intense enough, again, we can thread the needle, extending our right arm and threading the left through left ear to the mat. Honoring differences in the sides of our body. Perhaps what we do on one side, we're not able to do on the other. We are not here to create dis-ease. Coming out of our thread the needle if we chose to go there. Inhale, pressing ourselves up with our hands and shifting our weight over to the right hip. Coming back into all fours, slow and steady. Shifting our weight when we get there, rinsing it out, however that might look. Now we'll curl our toes under our shins and we'll step up into another down dog, rinsing out, extending, pressing the legs back, benefiting from opening up the knees, pedaling or shifting our weight as desired. Pressing both heels towards the mat. Finding stillness in our down dog. Noticing length and heat running along the back side of the body. Space being created between the vertebrae and length in our neck. Bringing our knees to the earth, and we'll walk ourselves into a child's pose, flattening our feet. Walking our hands out and sinking our hips back. Option to keep our arms extended, option to bring the fists or the hands underneath the forehead, option to shift the weight or to find stillness. Perhaps reflecting on our mantra from the beginning of our practice, that one word that may have resonated with us. Noticing the ease of which it comes to our mind and we're able to repeat it. Maintaining our awareness on the physical sensations that anchor us to this present moment. And everything that is happening in this very moment. On the next inhale, we'll press our torsos up with our hands. We'll cross our feet at the ankles and somehow come all the way back into a seated pose. Starting off with bringing the bottoms of our feet together. Reaching our hands around the back side of the feet. Drawing the heels in, butterflying the knees. Tall torsos. Drawing our shoulder blades in and back. Finding that length. And the option to hinge forward here. Drawing ourselves forward, using our feet as leverage. Opening into the inner thighs as possible. Three, 2, and 1. We release from that seated spinal twist, bringing our left leg long on the mat. Our right knee will continue to be hugged in. This may be as far as we can go, that's fine. But we have the option to bring our left arm across the right knee, to bring our right hand behind and to gently twist. Finding the pose that suits our body. Gently gazing over the right shoulder. Breathing space into the left side of the lower back and hip. And if it helps to lower the right knee to the earth and use our hand for some gentle torsion, that might be a good option. Calm, steady rhythm of breath. Maintaining awareness on any areas of discomfort. Noticing how they transform. And exhaling out of that, we come back to center. We extend our right leg long. We hug the left knee in. Bring our right arm across and our left arm behind. Or as mentioned, we can lower the left knee and use our hand as leverage. Whatever suits us today on this side. Breathing into our gentle spinal twist, however that looks for us. Deep breaths to massage all the muscle fibers and tissues along the spine. And to maintain our inner calm. Three more breaths. And we'll slowly float out of that, coming back into Dandasana, extending the legs long, with our toes pointed up and our feet together. Inhale, reaching up over the shoulders. Exhale, forward fold. And this time holding our arms parallel to the floor, chin to chest. We have the option to pulse. Noticing new space we've created down the back side of the body. Breaking through cobwebs that perhaps we haven't addressed over the last few weeks. Reconnecting and resetting. And finally settling into the pose, allowing the hands to connect wherever they do naturally. Toes are still pointing up, chin is tucked to our chest. We release out of that, slowly drawing ourselves up, dragging our hands along our legs, stacking the vertebrae, wiggling out the feet. And we'll come down into a bridge pose, shifting our hips down towards our heels, lowering our spine to the earth, allowing the spine to assume its natural curve. And bringing our feet to the outer edges of the mats, allowing ourselves to shift left to right one more time through windshield wipers. Our speed. Noticing what's happening in the abdomen and in through the lower back. Noticing again the contact our body makes on the mat below. And the softness in our face. Moving through any final micro movements before coming into Savasana. Perhaps that's a hug. Perhaps we're wiggling our feet. And we can either come into a fetal pose over to the side or float back into our starting pose of Savasana, allowing our legs to run long on the mat, finding a placement for our hands. And running through a body scan from head to toe, noticing any changes in the mood or the energy, noticing areas of lightness and fluidity. Taking a moment to celebrate having come to the mat today, making time for ourselves to nourish our bodies and to create headspace along the way, focusing on the physical sensations, anchoring us to the present moment. Setting ourselves up for the days of the year ahead. Perhaps at this point we set an intention for the coming days. As we do in our practice, we let go of judgment, competition, and expectation, not only in our own bodies and lives, but releasing those attributes to those around us, releasing them in conversations, letting go of any sense of judgment, competition, or expectation in our relationships with others and with ourselves. Taking the time that we need to imprint our practice on our bodies and minds. And when we're ready, we can wiggle ourselves back to the presence and the space around us, drawing our knees in, and rolling over and up when we're ready. Thank you for taking the time to reconnect to yourselves, to your bodies, to the community and to the universe, with new mental space and clarity to allow new energy and ideas to flow through us, as well as our light and love. I wish you a beautiful start to the year, and thank you for joining and letting me be a part of your journey. Namaste.